Hey guys, Jacob with Jacob Comics. Happy new comic book day, 9/11/2024. Actually, it's hard to say that just because of the day that that it's kind of in remembrance. But it is new comic book day, guys. And as always, I hope all you guys found all your books in the cubby, on the new comic book shop wall, or mailed to you. However you guys get your books, I hope you found all the books you were looking for this week. And let's all, remember the tragic events, I guess, today as well. And but I am here to brighten spirits a little bit, and in lieu of that, we will get dived here into the Loud Mysterious comic bag this week. I got 5 books. I actually really enjoyed the reads, and I can't wait to talk to you guys today about those books. But before we get dived into that, I do want to let you guys know about the Jacob Comics 9/8 mystery box. We still have a bunch left. Appreciate anyone. Click the links below. Come send me a message on Instagram. I'll get you hooked up with one. Right now, while supplies last, we're throwing in 5 free store exclusives. Retail value $105. You get 2 virgins and 3 trade dresses. And obviously the 9/8 mystery box and your chance at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Last Ronin #1. Signed 5 times by Kevin Eastman and the whole crew on the Ninja Turtles. Alright guys, without further ado, let's get dived into the Loud Mysterious black bag and see what books I got this week. Starting in my number 5 slot, as usual, I ordered these in order of, least favorite to favorite, but I thought all the reads were really good this week. I wasn't really disappointed with anything. Just kind of the books I liked the best versus the books that were good, but not, didn't really nail it out of the park. So in my number 5 slot, apropos, we have Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider, issue number 5. And it was a good read. We're continuing this mystery as to why Gwen is in the 616, and she's kind of helping a former villain, and that actually kind of worked for me. I thought their sort of relationship and how Gwen was dealing with that worked really well, and that was one of the things I enjoyed the most about this issue, was kind of seeing a bit of Gwen's sweetheart side, and how she does really care for people, including villains who might be in over their head, and I liked that. And at the end, the story kind of continues, and we still have this mystery that's unraveling, and I'm really enjoying this book right now. The art is also really fun and dynamic, and kind of lots of splashes of color, and so that it's maybe a little bit more of a art book, like where the art's really good, the story's enough. And so I'm having fun, man. I'm still digging that run. And in the number 4 slot, picking up the pace here a little bit, I felt, we have Amazing Spider-Man 57. Wells and Ramita Jr. Kind of finishing out this run together. And I think Wells at this point is writing from a base of knowledge, or like a story that he had, and it's actually kind of like really good at this point, like what the setup has finally kind of led to this really interesting dynamic between our characters, and I can't really say that the end of this run is him bowing out, and just kind of trying to wrap up all his stories. It doesn't really feel like that. It feels more like he's finally getting to tell the story that he's been wanting to tell this whole time, and pieces of it have all been set up throughout the run up until this point, and so I kind of dug it. And oddly enough, too, Romita Jr.'s art sort of helped with this issue because we had a lot of character dialogue and kind of like two characters sitting in a room talking, which is, you know, what you get on the front cover is what you get in the book. Not throughout, but there is a lot of that. And so Romita's faces, I actually kind of like it when you got him close up. He does a pretty good job, and his characters are dynamic, and they, you know, you can tell if they're angry, if they're kind of thinking. Like, he's good at that when we're close up, and so I kind of liked. I felt like his art fit with the writing of this issue, and maybe that's, you know, something that Wells hasn't done this whole time, but he did really serve his artist well with this story, and that's one of the reasons I enjoyed it so much as well. So we're moving on into our number 3 book this week, Venom 37, with this really awesome cover. We do get a bit of Venom, Dylan Brock, kind of fighting with Spider-Man for a little bit, not too long, but that does actually happen in the book. But we're more telling the story of this. We're still continuing this story of this older time traveling Dylan, and I'm sorry guys, I haven't looked this up. But I know that I think this is the 2nd or 3rd issue that we have Grondbeck on writing duties, taking over for Al Ewing. I'm hoping. And since Grondbeck's been on board, Venom is so much better. I hate to say that. But this is actually a really good read. That's why it landed in my number 3 this week. I liked all the books, and so I actually really liked this one. We're setting up this story so much better than we had in the past. We're using the same characters that Ewing was using, but we're doing such a better job with them right now. I'm so much more intrigued with the story, with the, you know, I don't think it's a spoiler to say that Doctor Strange does show up in this issue. And Grunbeck wrote Doctor Strange really well, too. I love Doctor Strange in this issue and his interactions with our time-traveling Dylan. And it was a good book this week. I'm fully on board for Venom again, especially if Grunbeck's going to be continuing writing duties. It seems like he has a plan, too, for where he wants to take this and kind of setting up... It's a good one. I do recommend it. And in my number 2 spot, I have Uncanny X-Men number 2. A little bit of a step down from Uncanny X-Men issue 1, which just kind of knocked it out of the park. Was my favorite of all the new X books, and still is, because we have a new From the Ashes book here to review today that hit my number 1 spot, but I still think I liked Uncanny X-Men 1 a bit more, but 2, though not as good as 1, continued what's going on. We're jumping around to some more stories. We started up a new story with Xavier, like a very, very backstory with Xavier, almost as though someone has found an old notebook of Charles Xavier's and is reading it. We don't really know yet, and so I don't think that's a spoiler. Just, you know, he does show up in the issue, and there's obviously going to be a plot that's building for that. We have some other interlaid stories, as well as our main cast kind of meeting up with these new characters, who obviously they're all over the front cover. So there's some new characters in there, 4 new characters. They're cool looking. Marquez continues to nail the art. The art's awesome. I don't know if I can't say too much without it kind of being a spoiler, but just we actually touch on a storyline that started over in X-Men that's now we're hitting some of the beats over here. So that's interesting to me too. There's definitely talk there in the writer's room as far as trying to create a fully woven narrative that's leading towards something kind of big. And, you know, what does X-Men always do but have these giant crossover summer events? So this is probably something that is going to be like next summer, but we're just starting to kind of see the seeds being laid for that. And of all the X-Men events, I'm actually really curious with this one where we're going. You know, I don't know, man. I'm having fun with this new X-Men launch. And in my number one spot, sort of, I felt like out of continuity. So maybe this happened like a few months before Wolvie ends up in Uncanny X-Men. But a good story nonetheless. I really liked it. It just felt like kind of like old school comics, and we're bringing in the baddies. We're gonna have a fight. It's gonna be in the snow and wilderness. You know, what you see on the front cover happens in the book. Super cool. And a bad guy shows up who I won't spoil, and by the end of it seems to have gained some new superpowers. Can't really tell you much more than that. Just it was the art by Cocolo. I think it's Martin Cocolo, was outstanding. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I was like, yes. And you know, he wrote several characters throughout the book too, kind of perspective, and I really like how Saladin Ahmed, who I've read his Miles Morales Spider-Man run, and I really feel like he stepped into a whole lot of new characters very deftly with this book as well. I was surprised with his writing. I almost feel like it's a step above his writing for Miles, or that maybe this is the character he should have been writing, because he really nails Wolverine. He really nails some other characters that are in the issue, and that kind of helped like really land this in my number one spot this week. All right, guys, that's what I have today. Would really appreciate anybody want to grab a mystery box off me. Click the links below. Check my Instagram out, or you know, just like, comment, subscribe here on YouTube. Anything it helps the channel grow. As always, we'll see you guys next time, and have a great day.